Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wherever you are around the world, welcome to the Magic the Gathering World Championship Individual Final for 2010. With me, your host, Pro Tour statistician Rich Hagan, alongside me, the Pro Tour historian, Mr. Brian David Marshall. You are looking at two great friends from France. Guillaume Matignon there as we pull towards him. You see him there, Pro Tour t-shirt on, and he is facing Guillaume Wafo-Tapa of France. There he is, the man from Nantes. As I say, tremendous friends. They are getting ready for a terrifically fun final for the two of them. Who wouldn't have a great time when you're playing for $45,000 on the turn of a card and you're playing with your best friend in Magic? BDM, what's going on?
Well, Wafo-Tapa led off with Dark Slick Shores and a Inquisition of Kozilek, and saw a handful of 5 lands, a Jace the Mind Sculptor, and a Preordain. And he took the Preordain, the only card he was eligible for selection.
I choose you.
Suddenly the hand is that Guillaume kept looks a little worse.
Yep.
Especially now he doesn't have but we're going to come with a duress right back.
So let's see what we've got the other way. There's a Preordain, which I'm going to take away.
Very similar hand. Looks like...
is that one more Preordain up at the top there? I think it is.
Yes, it is.
And 3 lands. So basically we have a bunch of land each, an Inquisition in the bin each, a Preordain in the bin each, and 1 bonus Preordain for Guillaume Wafo-Tapa.
2 bonus Preordains for Guillaume Wafo-Tapa.
And we see land and land coming.
Which both get pushed.
And instead, a potentially useful somewhere down the line mana leak. How lucky. Let's Preordain again. I'll keep Seagate Oracle. And we go back to Matignon. It will not surprise you at home to know we'll be referring to the players as Matignon and Wafo-Tapa. It's not that we want to be especially formal. We just feel that may be the most descriptive term we can use. We won't be saying the Frenchman much either.
We don't want the control player?
No. The handsome one? That could just lead to confusion, couldn't it?
Yes.
There's Matignon. Has obviously spent a lot of years running his hand through his hair in just that way that you saw there. Yeah, just like that.
He's definitely a fretter. If Guillaume Wafo-Tapa is always collected and cool and quiet, Matignon is the opposite.
The king of calm and the fountain of fret.
Yeah, he's just constantly fussing and fretting and
I said to him on the first morning of Worlds, so you hear France going to win the teams, you're going to win World Championships? It's like, no, I don't think so. I'm so ill. I feel dreadful. I can't win. No chance. There's one away. One away.
One away from not just winning the World Championships, from a historic happening in Pro Tour history.
Yep.
If he wins this match, Guillaume Matignon will pull into a dead tie with Brad Nelson for the Player of the Year lead for the 2010 season. A tie that will not be broken until Pro Tour Paris, when the two players would play a tiebreaker match. Winner take all.
That's Pro Tour Magic Weekend featuring just, oh, by the way, probably the largest Grand Prix in Magic history, just as a by-the-by.
Yeah, because there's nothing else happening that weekend, right?
Perhaps that's what they'll do. Perhaps they'll, they'll run it as a bit of entertainment for people with buys on the Saturday afternoon.
That actually sounds perfect to me.
Doesn't it just? You just set up 2,000 seats, let the fun begin. Oh, that would be box office. Guillaume Wafo-Tapa, meanwhile, has other plans. And they involve another trophy shot. Spreading seas.
Guillaume Wafo-Tapa was someone who came very close to... I mean, he could be playing for his Hall of Fame induction next year.
Yes. Indeed, he could. And this has certainly made a difference. And if he wins this match...
I mean, there were people after Amsterdam who said, oh, if only the vote had happened after Amsterdam.
Yeah, now you see, I don't buy that. I don't buy that, truthfully. You look at his record and you say, at that point, that is his third Pro Tour top 8. He had a phenomenal deck that he won Yokohama with in block, which was his deck. You get great kudos from me for that, when you can bring your own deck and say, this was mine, and I went all the way. That's fabulous, sure. But Amsterdam was only his third. This is his fourth.
Meanwhile, while we're talking, Inquisition of Kozilek was countered with Manalik. Matignon elected not to pay, played a land, and was able to resolve Jace the Mind Sculptor.
No, I think San Francisco next year for Guillaume Wafo-Tapa, quite a lot depends on the next hour and a half, maybe.
You think he'll win?
I think people just inevitably. I mean,
certainly two wins, I would say, is almost certain.
Yeah, and I think people inevitably look towards the headline finishes, and we talked earlier in the day. Who's the runner-up?
Right.
You know?
We could not recall Mark Zagner's name.
We could not, which was very poor of us collectively. We are sorry, Mark. Since we're on apologies, I'll apologise to a meddling mage, one Chris Pecula, who twittered in to say, you know, we're not all bad guys, us hedge fund traders. So you're my very favourite one, because if you hadn't gone and done that, well, I wouldn't have got this job eventually, would I? You'd still be here. So thanks a lot, Chris, for that. Spreading Seas from Wafo-Tapa. And that's going on.
A swamp?
Is that right? Yeah. Consume the Meek in Wafo-Tapa's hand. Seagate Oracle faces Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Plays Jace Mine.
Jace Mine? I like that. You notice Wafo-Tapa with some Japanese cards there in hand. He's a great collector, loves his foils, and came with a full 75 cards in this deck, all foiled up, but made some upgrades, which I didn't quite understand until he said, well, I just turned my foil Jace the Mind Sculptor into a Japanese foil Jace the Mind Sculptor.
His decks really are a thing of beauty.
Yeah, yes, and
both,
well,
in both senses.
Sure.
Of the word.
And it was interesting looking at the Legacy decks over the weekend and also in Extended. You've got to say in art terms.
Spreading Seas on the Tectonic Edge.
Yeah.
And again, the Tectonic Edge was going to take out the non-basic land that was remaining there.
Mm-hmm. You have to say in art terms, Magic is certainly not getting any uglier.
No.
There's some just amazing work going on in the game right now. There you see Spreading Seas from Matignon. Wafo-Tapa has Consume the Meek and land. We're going to continue to see Spreading Seas action left and right. As Wafo-Tapa untaps with the one creature in play. Kaz, that's Matignon to 15.
You know, instead of life totals, can we just get the bottom of the screen updated with cards in hand?
Oh, okay. So 0-0 on the right, and then it's like 7-7. That's it. Yeah, okay. That seems like a reasonable plan. And then we'll just let people know when somebody's won. Whether or not Matignon wins this match, a phenomenal achievement. This is his second Pro Tour final of the season.
Yeah.
2 out of the last 3.
Camille-like.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Cornelsen from the Netherlands. And one of the interesting things about Matignon is that you usually find that a player who's going to do that comes from nowhere to do that. You know, it's like, I am the new kid on the block, and I'm amazing at Magic, and, you know, but with Matignon, you look at his Pro Tour history, he's been around for years and years and years. And I mean this with the greatest respect, has not shown indications that he is suddenly going to be at the pinnacle of the world game. Not a lot of them.
To be fair, he's had some success playing other games.
Oh, absolutely.
And is a champion
a terrific
in that
gamer.
regard.
Absolutely. He certainly is. And as I say, the national championships...
Grave Titan from Matignon. He's like, yep.
Is that it? It is. Yeah, I'm just going to cast it. Is that all right? Yep.
It's a ratchet bomb that came down from Guillaume. Probably stay on 0.
But there's no doubt that Matignon has just improved his game stratospherically in the last 18 months.
Certainly. I mean, and again, as I said, he's contributed to a Pro Tour win before.
Yes.
Pierre Canale's deck in Pro Tour Columbus. Both of these gentlemen here sitting at this table 5 years ago, the first time we heard their name was when Pierre Canale credited them with the design of his Affinity deck.
Yeah.
Which, interestingly, we've been talking about Affinity and we've been talking about Chris Pikula.
Yes.
It was an Affinity deck with Meddling Mage that won Pro Tour Columbus.
Indeed. Indeed it was. So, Sir Mash, says Guillaume Matignon, I'd like to make 2 more of my 2-2 friends.
Seagate Oracle, I've got a job for you.
And Consume the Meek, I've got a job for you. And Matignon says, yeah, well, that seems fine. I've still got a Grave Titan in play, which next turn's going to make some more guys.
Which will trade with your Ratchet Bomb.
Well, it looks like, are we going to see another? We certainly are. Yeah, and you just saw Wafo-Tapa just kind of dink his head a little bit, just to get out of the way of the oncoming train. And that is 1-0.
Train has left the station.
Yeah, it has indeed. 1-0 to the Frenchman. 1-0 to Guillaume. 1-0 to Matignon. And there we go. They're obviously enjoying themselves, getting ready for sideboard. So we'll take a little look at the 2 players in a little bit closer detail. Guillaume Matignon, first of all,
that's mine.
Already winning by 1-0. Let's take a look at his stats.
The one you gave me was...
There he is, 29. That's a nice top 8 profile shot. That's always a little bit daunting for some of the players. It's like, you know, you've played all this Magic for 3 days and then go and look good and be a bit of a celebrity and so on. Second at San Juan, 84 lifetime pro points. And that would be a lot higher if team points had been instituted at Nationals a little bit earlier. Because as we said earlier in the day, 4 of the last 5 years, Guillaume Matignon has made it to the top 8 of his national championship, which is just outstanding. Yeah. Absolutely outstanding.
And at the end of the day today, could very well be Hall of Fame eligible. I don't know when his first Pro Tour was, but he'll have 100 points.
Yeah, I don't think it's yet a decade ago. I think it's like 7 or 8 years back, if memory serves, something like that.
But he'll certainly be eligible to vote for Guillaume Wafo-Tapa this year.
That is certain. His record, by the way, 3-3 in Standard. Then, as we said, that huge run, 6-0 in Draft, 4-0, and then the 2 IDs in Extended, and then back to Standard today. Won his quarter, won his semi. Here he is, 1-0 up in the final. Well, let's take a look at the other Guillaume. This is Guillaume Wafo-Tapa, again from France, 29, from Nantes, and this, his 4th Pro Tour top 8. The way that works out, of course, champion of Yokohama, defeated Kazuya Mitamura, the chief, in the final of that one. He was 3rd in the Player of the Year race in 2007. Kuala Lumpur 2008. Everyone forgets that one about him, where he was 5th in the Limited Pro Tour, won by John Finkel. Just a stacked top 8 that was.
John Finkel beat him 3 times that event. I think those might be Guillaume's only 3 losses in that event.
And they were all in the space of about 3 rounds, weren't they? Because it was, they went back to draft, and then it was sort of, you know, yeah, I'll beat you down the stretch, I'll beat you down here, and then I'll beat you in the top 8. It was, Yes, Wafo-Tapa was quite keen to see the back of John Finkel after KO, I think. And then, of course, quarterfinal again of Pro Tour Amsterdam earlier this year. He felt he didn't have a good quarterfinal matchup. He lost it 3-1. He was correct in that assessment. But as we looked at the bracket here, we did feel that he was, if you like, in the quiet bracket, the bottom half, where there wasn't all this Player of the Year excitement, there weren't all these distractions. He could just go about his quiet blue-black control business. That is exactly how it's panned out.
I mean, if you did it just on play skill, he had a straight shot through to the finals. Sure. Based on Pro Tour experience and reputation and all of that stuff. You had to pencil him in. I mean, I thought Louis Yance had a shot to sneak his way in, but Momoriside was way too powerful for that deck. It just really cut a leg out from under it.
Yep. Primeval Titans, go away, go away, go away. And they were the 3 games that Wafo-Tapa won pretty much. So we get ready for game 2. Guillaume Wafo-Tapa, mightily supported by Brad Nelson. Because remember, right now, we could have Brad Nelson as Player of the Year in the award ceremony about an hour and a half from now, or less. And for that to happen, Guillaume Wafo-Tapa must win Worlds. I would quite like to be there to watch Brad Nelson hug Guillaume Wafo-Tapa. That is a shot I would like to see.
He's wondering if he let me play first or not. I'm 100% win. I'm 100% winning when drawing on mirror match.
So they're discussing, if you can hear Guillaume there. Wafo-Tapa is trying to decide whether to go first or second, because in the mirror match, Guillaume Matignon says that he is a 100% winner when on the draw. So
it sounds like he's trying to plead his case to. Please make me play. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, it would hurt me so bad if you made me play. I don't think I could bear it. I might die. I was talking to Matignon just before they came on set for the finals, and I said,
"This was a great story." Yeah.
So I said, "So what is the deal?" Well, obviously you're tremendous friends. You've worked on decks all your lives together, really. And he said, "Well, it's fantastic. We're both here. What we're really playing for is bragging rights." Because for the rest of our lives, the winner will get to say, I beat you in the World Championship final of Magic. And then he thought about this for a minute, and then he said, and you know what? In a way, I can't lose. Because if I win, I'm going to tell him it every time I see him. And if Guillaume Wafo-Tapa wins, well, he doesn't say very much anyway.
That's right, and he really doesn't. He's just so parsimonious with his words. He's groaning at Guillaume's incessant shuffling.
But now, we are in business for game 2. Mulligans notwithstanding. I often think it would be nice at some point, BDM, to get our director Bruce Town on camera and ask him about his favourite matches down the years. What Pro Tour finals he has particularly fond memories of.
He's very fond of all the 9-0s.
Oh, really? Like Rietzel and Jeffrey Saron?
He loves Rietzel and Jeffrey Saron. Those are his 2 favorite. I can assure you that's true up and down the crew that works on these events.
Is that how it works? So, Matignon shows his hand to Wafo-Tapa and says, can't keep that, can I really? No, you're right, you can't. You're absolutely right. This is so strange. It's almost like kitchen table magic.
Yeah.
It is literally as if we've suddenly been transported from this state-of-the-art convention center in Chiba, Japan, and suddenly it's almost like we're around a farmhouse kitchen table in Nantes, in France, 2 friends chatting away.
So just get a little bit of insight also into, we talked about Guillaume Wafo-Tapa getting here via a PTQ.
That's right. Yeah.
Now, there was a point where, now if a player has not hit a certain level, they're able to still play in PTQs.
That is correct.
At that PTQ, Guillaume Matignon registered to play. simply to basically form a flying wedge for his friend Guillaume Wafo-Tapa. Like, well, perhaps if I play against you, I'll concede or I'll beat some people out. And
the wingman.
He scooped to Guillaume Wafo-Tapa in the quarterfinals of that PTQ.
Oh boy.
And that is directly what leads to Guillaume Wafo-Tapa being back here today.
As they say in Wicked, no good deed goes unpunished. No act of charity goes unresented. Oh boy.
We have an Inquisition of Kozilek
let's
leading
get
things off.
To the action. Looks
Stoic
like
Rebuttal,
Jace. Inquisition.
And that's a Memoricide.
Oh, it is indeed.
Over on the right. The script earlier was Memoricide your Memoricides, and then Memoricide your Grave Titans.
Say that quickly 3 times, I'll be impressed.
Memoricide your Memoricide, then Memoricide your Grave Titans. I'm not going to even just...
Gotcha. Yeah, you got halfway through the second and knew you were toast.
I just didn't want to sound silly.
Okay. That's a first.
So you took the Jace.
Yeah, preordain. Wafo-Tapa on the right of your screen.
Thinking.
I hope you're getting some great views at home, whatever computer or screen you're watching this on. It's been absolutely tremendous work by the crew here in Japan, bringing us all the action.
I want to take a moment while Guillaume decides how to finish up that preordain to say happy birthday to head judge Ricardo Tessitore today.
Yes, absolutely.
He's done a great job head judging this tournament and working on his birthday weekend.
One of our finest level 5s. Yep, many thanks to Ricardo.
We'll have to buy him a piece of birthday sushi for dinner.
I was thinking steak. All right. To the action. There you see the hand. Flick through. Jace the Mind Sculptor. That's 20 apiece. Matignon goes for a little bit of hydration. Always a good plan under the lights. Preordain. Again from Wafo-Tapa.
See a little switch there. It's trying to hydrate myself here.
Tectonic Edge comes into hand.
5 cartes, c'est ça?
So it looks like Mana Leak, Stoic Rebuttal for Wafo-Tapa. Has the Tectonic Edge. Third land for Matignon. Pass. Wafo-Tapa draws Grave Titan. Fourth land for him. Just pass straight back. No need to attempt the Memoricide yet.
Maybe now. He has a duress.
Once again, Matignon tries to work out what's coming from the other side of the table. He has the lead, remember. Come on, Guillaume. Come on, you can bring it.
I'm like, okay. Nope.
I'll bring it with a land.
5 toujours, hein. Oui, je sais compter, merci.
Well, looks to me like Matignon might be shy of a land. Maybe there's a Tectonic Edge lurking away in there. It's going to cast Inquisition of Kozilek. He can pay for Mana Leak. Which is why Wafo-Tapa says, let's go for Stoic Rebuttal. Let's just say straight up no.
And attempt.
And now I'd like to duress you.
Pas fort bien joué de ma part, ça.
We've seen plenty of Planeswalker action through this top 8. Sounds like we may yet get an appearance by a certain Sorin Markov BDM.
Yeah, I was looking through Guillaume's sideboarding decisions. Looked like he brought in the Duress, the Inquisition, took out his Doom Blades, I believe took out his Ratchet Bombs, brought in his Memoricides, his Sorin Markov, his Jace, and his Stoic Rebuttal.
Now there is a Sorin Markov also in Guillaume Matignon's sideboard. I don't know whether he's brought that in. We'll Matignon has not brought in his Sorin Markov.
Preordained for Matignon. Those lines go, but knows that if Guillaume tries a Memoricide here, which he knows is looming, that it is going to resolve. In fact, Guillaume can do quite a job of shredding Matignon's hand here.
We've got a Duress. We've got, is that Duress double Inquisition? It is, isn't it?
One Inquisition, one Duress, one Memoricide.
Okay. The Trinity. Knowing when to pull the trigger, utterly key in these sorts of matches. I could do all sorts of things, but should I?
Well, he can't be worried about mana leak. Yes, he can force that issue with a discard spell. And then can't be worried about a Grave Titan, since he can Memoricide those if he would like.
Sure. Inquisition of Kozilek. Are we about to get perfect information for Guillaume Wafo-Tapa? We are. We're going to see Cancel, Jace the Mind Sculptor, and Tectonic Edge.
Yep.
Then we're going to see Memoricide. Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Shuffling away the Grave Titan that was on top.
Ooh. Let's see what you've got down there. There's one. There's another.
By the way, how'd you sideboard?
There's another. Yeah, exactly.
Still 2 cards for Wafo-Tapa.
Good turn for Wafo-Tapa. Good turn for Brad Nelson.
So I'm sorry, you brought some special neckwear with you into the booth. I'm sorry that you didn't get to use it.
That's true. I'm looking out at Jonathan Randall, who is watching, and congratulations to John for making his first Pro Tour top 8 with Richard Bland, part of the British team there. It's a terrific effort by him. Great to see him here. And he'll be back next year. We've actually got a squad of now level 4s. We've got Jackson at 3. We've got Randall at 4. I think maybe even 5. Richard Bland and Dan Gardner. So it's been a while since we've had 4 people in and around the pro scene on a permanent basis. Hello. I feel really embarrassed, but I'm just going to put 10
Did
pounds.
you just say I'm sorry?
Yeah. Yes, that's an actual, genuine apology for putting 10 power of guys onto a table when you're playing for $45,000.
With a childlike grin.
That is... Oops. Oops. He just said oops about a Grave Titan.
And there is some Tectonic Edge. He can keep Wafo-Tapa off of his Grave Titan. He didn't draw a 6th land for it right there. And that's exactly what we're going to see.
Those Grave Titans have not only been a great source of being good, they've been a great source of drama today.
Yes.
Goodness me.
They tend to like to huddle about the top of people's decks.
All right, is that generally where they live?
Yeah. And creeping tar pit.
Smash. Moments ago, we thought we were well on the way to 1-1. We are at 2-0. Guillaume Matignon is one game away from being the Magic the Gathering World Champion for 2010, and he is one game away from forcing
Oops again.
A playoff for the Player of the Year with Brad Nelson of the United States. That is just crazy. Crazy.
The Grave Titan was on top. It was shuffled away. Right back to the top. It was like a magic trick.
Yeah.
Bon, du coup, ça a l'air bien ce que j'ai fait.
A magic trick where nobody cheers at the end of it. It's like, That was just savage.
Even Matignon seemed a little sick about that one.
Yeah, go on then, Bruce. Yeah, sure. So we will have a little look at the sideboards for these two. Guillaume Matignon and Guillaume Wafo-Tapa as they head for Game 3 out of a possible 5. No real noticeable sideboard edge, but we will take a look at what they've got on offer. Here is Matignon, who is only one game away, remember, from the victory.
So
BDM.
Certainly the Memoricides have come in. The Duresses have come in. We got confirmation from the floor that he didn't bring in the Soren Markov, although we do know that Wafo-Tapa brought in his. And probably the Deprive, taking out... you know, I know that Wafo-Tapa was taking out his Seagate Oracles, or some number of those, taking out the Disfigure, possibly taking out... is there Ratchet Bombs over here? I know that Ratchet Bombs are coming out on the other side.
Let's take a look at Guillaume Wafo-Tapa's sideboard, if we can, and we'll see what he may have done with his, as the players continue to shuffle. There's Matignon still on screen for you, but Wafo-Tapa, we know that he's gone to put in Soren Markov.
He went back to his sideboard after this. He may have decided to take that out, maybe go for another Seagate Oracle, which I saw that he had taken out.
Sure, And you see Wafo-Tapa, they're still shuffling away. Let's see whether he has what he has the choice of. So there we go.
So in comes Duress, in comes Inquisition of Kozilek, in comes 3 Memoricide. He brought in a Soren Markov. He probably brings in the Jace Bellerin and the Stoic Rebuttal.
That's an awful lot of stuff.
Awful lot of stuff.
That was like it was a bit of a shopping list there.
Yeah. Out went Ratchet Bombs, Consume the Meek, Seagate Oracle, and Doomblade.
Okay. So Wafo-Tapa finds himself 2-0 down in the final.
Both players are looking at their hands.
So let's get back to the action.
Thinking.
For what could be the final game of the World Championship and could not be the final game of the 2010 season. We've seen Olivier Ruel edged out by Kenji Samura by 1 point in 2005.
And that was a year that could have come down to a tie as well.
Yep.
That was the last time we've come this close to having the tie on the last day of the season.
Last year we had the possibility of a tie in the Rookie of the Year.
We're 1 game away from a tie.
We are. Brace yourself.
Do you remember laughing at me when I suggested that there could be a tie?
Yeah, I remember that. Inquisition. Preordain. There's a spreading seas there. Not sure what that is right down the bottom for Matignon.
So to take a page from your book, Guillaume Matignon tried to Torquemada the Inquisition, but he couldn't.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, sorry, that hurt more as the more I thought about it. That was like live via satellite. I do apologise. That's well done. You've been trying at these, haven't you?
That's probably why I just get mad at you about him.
If only I'd thought of that. Go back to New York and say to your good lady, oh, he came up with some really great puns this week.
Yes, that's exactly what I tell her.
It doesn't surprise me. As you can tell, viewers and listeners around the world, we have a lot of fun together. Magic's an amazing game, and we're very, very privileged to bring it to you here on gaming's greatest stage. The final of the World Championship. Matignon 2, Wafo-Tapa, there he is, 0.
Creeping tar pit for Wafo-Tapa.
So, who is going to be the world champion? Matignon last lost a game of Magic past Tuesday. That's how long ago it was. An astonishing run.
No third land? Oh, no, he did.
Right, 2 on either side. Here's Duress, Grave Titan, cancel. Spreading Seas, couple of land. And there you see Guillaume Wafo-Tapa writing the cards down just like Paolo Dama de Rosa did. If it is good enough for them, it's good enough for us.
Pas forcément frais.
Grave Titan, Memoricide. In Wafo-Tapa's hand, there's a Jace the Mind Sculptor there. Spreading Seas will resolve. Matignon draws a card. Pass the turn. Wafo-Tapa.
It's interesting. Would you have, Guillaume still had the duress at the end of that game. He could have duressed the Jace and Memoricided the Grave Titans. Can rest assured that if he casts Memoricide this turn, it will name either Memoricide or Grave Titan.
This seems quite reasonable. Guillaume Wafo-Tapa lays a land, and he says, 4 mana, Jace the Mind Sculptor. How's about it? That is going to occur, and what's he going to do with it? He's going to Fate Seal Matignon. Looks at a card, says, that's just fine. And it was a land. There is the land. Again, good little bit of skill from Matignon. Knowing that Wafo-Tapa has seen that precise land, just takes it straight off the top, straight into play.
Right.
No possible benefit and information to Wafo-Tapa.
Jace minds him.
Yes. So as they say to each other, there's no Jace, Guillaume.
You didn't.
What? No. You were busy looking at Facebook. It's fine.
Pas encore, mais pas loin, c'est ça?
So on this turn,
En gros, c'est quoi le truc débile que tu me fais dans la gueule ce tour-ci?
Wafo-Tapa says, I would like Jace number 3 of the
Pas le
game.
pire, mais c'en est pas si loin.
baby
que ça.
Jace, and then is he going to? Yes, he is.
I could be wrong, but I think Matignon actually complained about seeing another Planeswalker there, which, given what happened in Game 2, seems a little bit saucy.
Monte ta main.
His DCI card could be revoked for complaining there.
Si, ça se fait. Je concède. Si elle est bien, je concède.
Deprive, Grave Titan, Mana Leak, Land.
J'ai pas envie de jouer celle-là, je vais la perdre, donc je peux rien faire contre ça.
That is Matignon's hand right now.
Tu la montres. Tu la montres. Il y a 90% de chances que je concède. Si tu la montres pas, je concéderai pas et on perd du temps.
In the last 20 seconds, Wafo-Tapa has said more than I've heard him speak all weekend. And I do wonder whether that is something that Matignon is conscious of. That the whole kind of breezy, chatty thing is not something that Wafo-Tapa is used to in a match. I mean, on the face of it, it seems entirely just like two great mates having a great time.
Hey, I don't. Matignon does not seem like he's much in the way of tactics in that sense.
No, I would assume not. It just occurred to me that it does take Wafo-Tapa out of his comfort zone, which is internalizing everything, analyzing everything. How do you just contain yourself? I was talking to Paul Rietzel about this in Amsterdam, you know, when it's so much a part of your life and you're at 2-0 in the final and the whole world is literally about to come to you as
both players
the
drew
dreams.
a card off of Jace, and then Inquisition of Kozilek was deprived.
But Wafo-Tapa may have something to say about that. He doesn't know, that's fine. 20
He's been
plays
so
now.
patient on that Momora side.
Yes. Now, generally, patient is a compliment. But is that a code for you for tardy?
No, that's a compliment.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Spreading seas. Oh, on you go. Matignon. As Wafo-Tapa stares at Mana Leak, Grave Titan, Memoricide. Second Mana Leak.
Sur Marina.
So I'd like to Spreading Seas. Yes, that's fine. You draw away. You were talking, BDM, about Carlos Ramao back in 2002 with his Psychotog deck, working out just what spells to counter, and the number of card-drawing spells that have just gone sailing by through this top. It's like, yeah, sure, have some cards, it's fine, whatever. Yeah, no worries, fine.
Well, there's not really any kind of card drawing, though, on that level of...
Oh, no.
Well, I guess Jace is certainly a card drawing spell. It's...
Yep.
But these guys would counter Jace in a heartbeat.
Yes. Seagate Oracle from Matignon. Wafo-Tapa having taken his out.
Deux.
Got two other cards. You wonder whether this is something that Wafo-Tapa might decide to do something about. Matignon can pay. So Wafo-Tapa would have to use both his mana leaks. And Matignon pays almost straight away.
He'll just let that resolve at this point.
And then give himself a spare turn. He has Grave Titan. Yeah, that is what happened. So the Seagate Oracle is fine. Matignon is now tapped out with 2 cards. 3 cards. And Wafo-Tapa now has a window to try and create some carnage.
It's like a picture window. Floor to ceiling.
Counter. Another Memoricide in hand now.
Ça se te gagne que tu aies pris un point ou pas?
So there's a Grave Titan in hand. Looks like Misty Rainforest gets sacrificed for a life. And the life totals in this match, they tend to stay right up near the 20 mark, and then suddenly it's 10, die. and here's part of the reason for that. Here's your Grave Titan +2, and that would represent 10, although there's Seagate Oracle in the way, at least partly. So, Matignon.
Boum, 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 boum. Quelles sont mes chances, Madame Chambier? Déjà, je commence par ça.
Duress you.
Okay. So, what do we see from Wafo-Tapa? We see it. What was that?
Manalik.
Manalik goes away. He sees double Memoricide, Jace the Mind Sculptor. And
Plays
then-
his own Grave Titan.
Yeah. So we're kind of all matched up. Again, but Matignon didn't like the look of Wafo-Tapa's hand there.
Well, I think what we're going to see here is... so 1, 2, 3... Oh, you can't do both.
Une seule.
I just
Got 6 mana.
So Jace is going to go away for another card for Wafo-Tapa. Out will come Jace the Mind Sculptor. Apparently that's an upgrade.
Yep. Pick that up.
Send away the Grave Titan. And smash in. And you hear Matignon saying there, what, you drew Mana Leak?
14.
And, Toi, over to you.
So, unwilling to trade his tokens.
So there's 6. Here's my Grave Titan again. And it looks to me like Wafo-Tapa has his right hand poised over 3 mana to say no.
He's considering just allowing it, repeating. Yep, he's just going to bounce it and Memoricide away the Grave Titans.
Okay. There it is. And Matignon scoops up. And that is 2 games to 1. No mistake in game 3. Sorry, when I say no mistake, there were no mistakes in game 2. What I mean to say is, this time, Guillaume Wafo-Tapa does take down the game. There was no heroics from Matignon with off the top. Here comes Grave Titan yet again. So it is 2 to 1. Brad Nelson is 2 games away from being Player of the Year. Or he is 3 games away. The third one against Guillaume Matignon. Guillaume Matignon, 1 game away from being the world champion. Wafo-Tapa, 2 games from being the world champion.
This is the part of 2 friends playing Magic, because they're not going through any of the sideboard machinations, shuffle their sideboard in, takes the same cards out, try to make you think maybe something's up. They're just, we're just playing Magic at this point.
Yeah. This is drawing Wafo-Tapa out of his shell somewhat. Just looking through the 2 tournament records of the players, Guillaume Wafo-Tapa began with a win over Shuhei Nakamura. That was the highlight of his day 1.
Was that a feature match?
Do you know, I'm not actually sure it was. The thing, first round of Worlds. There are so many great matches. But he went on to go 6-0 in Standard, took down Christian Gavrilovic, the Austrian champion. Also, to 4-0, who did he play here, BDM?
That's one of the December dozen from the Magic Online Championship Series. I believe you've interviewed him a couple times.
That's right. And what's his name?
Mongkol Teshera Prasaret.
That was really good. You were only like 3 or 4 syllables out.
Yeah.
Well done.
I'm trying to save some for later.
Yeah, indeed. A little snack box there. Lost to Pierre Canali at Open Day 2.
Lost to Eric Froelich.
Yeah, but then beat Pierre Canali in the return fixture in draft, because of course you end up in the same pods from time to time. And then began the key in some ways to his success here was a genuine to-the-nails draw with Palavita Dama de Rosa. The first round of Extended, it was control matchup all the way, and they played through 2 games, had about 3 minutes left and went, yeah, we can't win this in 3 minutes. Let's be done. And of course both of them went on to make the top 8. So that was Wafo-Tapa. But we are back with the action. Is this the final game of the World Championship? We'll find out. Matignon begins with Creeping Tar Pit. Wafo-Tapa. Does he have an Inquisition to get us going?
It's interesting because Matignon does have an Inquisition, but because he had to play his Black Source tapped, he doesn't get to come out of the gates with it. Mm-hmm. See Wafo trying to predict how the next few turns are going to go, thinking about it, plays a tapped land. Now Guillaume gets to say, what were you thinking about?
So here's Inquisition. Stoic Rebuttal, Preordain.
5 lands?
Some land, yeah. What's that third one down? Is that... Stoic Rebuttal, Preordain, and then... I'm getting old. Matignon's writing them all down.
There you go. It was a that looks like it's a Dark Slick Shores foil, and in Japanese.
Oh, thank you so much. There we are. So I can read them there.
Sort of.
Yeah, kind of. I can't precisely read it. You just see it.
So he's going to take the preordain or the... Yep, he's going to take the Stoic Rebuttal. He's like, you can filter a little bit of your deck.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather you look for a counterspell than have a counterspell.
Right.
Wafo-Tapa. Full grip, of course.
Worth Wolpert has just popped up on a chat, and he has suggested that if there is a tie, that the format for the playoff should be Winston draft.
Wow, wouldn't that be savage? With cards that are as yet unknown.
Spreading Seas from Wafo-Tapa.
Yeah. I was talking to another
Worth Wolpert, who's done this job a time or two in his career.
Indeed. And very heavily involved with Magic Online, of course, over the years. I was talking with another French Hall of Famer, Raphael Levy, about the time when he won back-to-back Grand Prix in Extended. And I said, now, truthfully, it comes around so rarely, but did you feel invincible when you were playing those tournaments? And he said, you know, I really did. I was playing such great Magic, I just felt I could not be beaten. And I do wonder whether that is going on for Guillaume Matignon right now. 3 days
Bullets
since
certainly
he
seem
lost.
to have been bouncing off of his torso.
Jace the Mind Sculptor
He's going to
from Matignon.
Je réfléchis.
Fate Seal.
Je réfléchis encore. C'est perdu.
Who did he Fate Seal? Fate Sealed himself. Okay.
5 counters on Jace. Le Sculpteur de l'Esprit.
Another suggestion for tiebreakers is a game of catchphrase.
Go away.
Jace mine off the top. Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Guillaume 2-1. Matignon. Spreading Seas. Every turn now becomes that much more critical because there can be only so many more top decks to come in the 2010 season. See a Grave Titan in Matignon's hand. See again, reaches for the water. Brad Nelson was writing about that earlier this year, talking about the importance of looking after yourself at tournaments. And,
Absolutely. This is a very long weekend, as you and I know well.
Indeed. As we surround ourselves with liquid refreshment.
Yeah.
Wafo-Tapa. In the pose seen so often with him. The left hand just kind of semi-holding up the head as he just contemplates and then starts flicking the cards over and over. What's up, Mr. Wafo-Tapa? Time to make your move, whatever it is. Even if it's land yours.
Pions.
It was land, and then it is Jace Bellerin.
Bon, Interpret que je connais, c'est le seul, c'est simple.
Which is going to be deprived. Picking up the Spreading Seas land.
of course, that's part of the cost, so that happens anyway, even if Wafo-Tapa had decided to mana leak it. But that does not happen. So Matignon with 4 land, quite a long way shy of pulling the trigger on his Grave Titan. Wafo-Tapa 3 cards in hand, as Matignon reaches over to check the graveyard. Creeping Tar Pit. Looks like that all land for Wafo-Tapa.
It is.
Not a lot going on there. Can Matignon take advantage? He's going
For the Momora side.
okay. Wafo-Tapa will say yes.
Grave Titan.
Grave Titan. Wafo-Tapa shows 3 land. Matignon has a bit of a smile there, and one wonders whether that is a smile of someone who thinks that they are not too far away from becoming world champion.
He's like, let me make sure there's not a 4th one.
Tiens, on a le même deck.
I think I know your list, but let me double check.
Yeah. Let's leave nothing to chance. Lova Jansa out in the arena. A terrific day for him. Great to see him in the top 8. Covered himself in glory. Well done to Sweden all round this weekend.
See freshly minted Hall of Famer Gabriel Nassif out there.
Indeed. Galdenis Verdugris, nice to see him. We've seen him around lots of the European Grand Prix over the last couple of seasons. These are the regular figures on the Pro Tour scene. And if you're thinking about coming to join us, get out and play some extended PTQs, because BDM and I would love to see you here on the greatest show on earth at the Pro Tour in 2011.
Is that a land? Will we see a Grave Titan?
The clock is ticking. Creeping Tar Pit, attack. 17. 17.
Qu'est-ce que je fasse?
Plays the
France
6th land.
against France. Oh boy. So near. I'm going to send Creeping Tar Pit back the other way. Land from Wafo-Tapa. Is this the turn for 10 power of guys to hit play?
Duress you.
Duress you first. What am I going to see? Inquisition of Kozilek. 2 land. Land. Grave Titan from Guillaume Matignon. +2. There's the hand! Guillaume Matignon of France is the 2010 Magic the Gathering World Champion. Holy wow, boys and girls. Guillaume Matignon lost his last game 3 days ago. He has won everything in draft. He has gone undefeated in extended. He has gone through the top 8, and out of our window we can see one Brad Nelson of the United States, who will be getting ready for a playoff for the Player of the Year. But let us focus on Guillaume Matignon on your screen right there. What an achievement. 2nd in San Juan. It is so tough to get to a top 8 of a Pro Tour ever. To get a 2nd Pro Tour top 8 is next to impossible in the year. 3 players did it this year. 2nd time. Unbelievable. And now, Guillaume Matignon from France, your 2010 Magic the Gathering World Champion. BDM. How awesome was that?
It's fantastic. The whole weekend has been fantastic. And you know, it's kind of we talked to Guillaume Matignon about this very possibility at the beginning of the weekend, and he said it was impossible.
Yep. I said,
We've seen the impossible happen.
you're going to run the table, you're going to be world champions. Like, no.
More than that, we said you could tie for Player of the Year.
Hello and welcome to the 2010 Magic the Gathering World Championship Awards Ceremony. Assisting me today will be the head judge of the event, Riccardo Tessitore. Before we begin, a little bit of applause for 2 awards that were awarded earlier in the day. In fourth place, winning $14,000 from Sweden, Love Janse. And in third place, winning $15,000 from Brazil, Paulo Vitor Damo de Rosa. We would also like to once again extend our sincere congratulations to the 2010 Hall of Fame inductees, Gabriel Nassif, Brian Kibler, and Bram Snepvangers. Our first trophy goes to the Magic Online World Champion for 2010, winning $25,000 from Brazil, Carlos Ramao. Our next award goes to the 2010 Pro Tour Rookie of the Year from Italy, Andrea Giarola. Next for the team awards, the 2010 World Team Finalists, winning $7,500 from Australia. Team Australia, Adam Witten, Jeremy Neiman, and Ian Wood. And presenting the 2010 World Team Champions, winning $12,000, Team Slovak Republic. Ivan Floch, Robert Jerkovic, Patrick Sarab. Once again, the 2010 World Team Champions, Team Slovak Republic. And now, the 2010 World Championship finalist, winning $24,000 from France, Guillaume Wafo-Tapa. Normally at this point in the ceremony, we would be awarding the Player of the Year title. But as we have a tie in the 2010 Pro Tour Player of the Year race, the 2010 Player of the Year will be determined by a single match playoff at Pro Tour Paris. And now introducing the 2010 Magic the Gathering World Champion, winning $45,000 from France, Guillaume Matignon. Once again, the 2010 Magic the Gathering World Champion, Guillaume Matignon. I'd like to thank all the staff, judges, and players for making the entire 2010 season one of the best ever. Join us February 10th to 13th, 2011, for the start of the 2011 season in Paris, France. Thank you and good night.